oh boy, has it been a minute. Hello, me, Jasmine, crochetery. Hi. Been, I think, a year now. Oops. Address a couple things first. First, the hair is growing back out. I don't know what length I'm growing to. Don't ask. I don't know. But it's growing. Two, you can see part of my tan line here. Ignore that. Tried getting a long sleeve on to avoid that. And three, look at these. I have some super long Wolverine nails now, it feels like, which is sometimes a little hard to crochet with, but none of those are the points. I'm gonna just jump right back into it. I'm super excited. I have a lot of goodies that I've been dwelling upon in the last year. But to start off, I want to test something new. There's a lot of brands of yarn. Recently, Joann's closed, so usually the go-to is to Michael's, or Hobby Lobby is another good yarn brand. I've never used it before. I know. For as long as I've crocheted, I've never used Hobby Lobby before, and I've recently purchased some for a pattern test that I'm doing on Ribbler, which is its own video, which is probably going to get posted before this video, so you'll see those at some point. So I had to buy a bunch of yarn off of that, so I was like, you know what? I think I could make a good series out of just testing Hobby Lobby yarns since I've never used it before. And man, oh man, is it a process. There's a ton of stuff on there, like accessories, patterns. I didn't even know they had patterns, so I'm definitely going to be like tweaking with some of those. You know, we're tweaking. And there's a lot, just a lot of yarn in general. Some for knitting, some for crocheting, for patterns, obviously. I'm not going to touch the knitting ones, although maybe I'll attempt knitting for a video or two here. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I have knitting needles. I've tried it. It doesn't work too well, but I'm always down to give it a retry. So I've got 3 different types of yarn in front of me. Obviously, by the thumbnail, you know which one that I'm doing first, and you know what I'm making first. But I'm going to show you the other 2 just as like a fun little, you tell me which one you want to see next for the video type thing, you know. The first thing I have, which is for the pattern test, so ignore the little writing on the labels here, is Friends Cotton 8-4 100% cotton, which is super fine yarn. Look how thin it is. Like, damn. I had to buy a whole ton of these for the pattern test I'm doing, which is a tapestry, by the way. Not into tapestry. But for an extent of how many of those I needed, we're gonna just take a peek in here for a second. Yeah, this whole giant bag full of it. So any of the extras, I don't know what I'm gonna make with them, but you'll probably see. So we have these for the future, for a different video, not this one, because it is going to take me a good chunk of change to make that. I also went with this because I thought this was like a fun color. I've never used wool yarn before, so I was like, that could be like also a fun experience. It's the Happy Sheep wool print, 100% pure wool. And I don't know what the color is because it's inside of the label. No, standard 100. It's color 111 on their website if you look at the brand. And I figured this would be a fun thing to do for another video. I got a chunk of these because I was like, I know exactly what I want to make with it in my head. But you'll see that. So let me know if you want to see the cotton yarn used first or the wool yarn used first for the next time that we attempt Hobby Lobby yarns. Because today we're doing Honey Bunny. Now, this is like a dupe for Sweet Snuggles and Chanel Light, I believe, from Michael's. And I think Joann's had one called like Big Twist Posh or something like that. I didn't get a chance to use that, unfortunately. You didn't know. Didn't get any of the closeout sales. But it is Honey Bunny by Hobby. Let me see the little label there because it is pretty cute. This color is 31. The yellow that I'm using is color 21 in case you want to get these exact colors yourself. I have 2 oranges and a yellow because in the thumbnail you saw what I'm making. But we're going to dwell on the yarn for a second longer. It is size 6, super bulky. They recommend a 7mm crochet hook. I usually use an 8mm crochet hook with size 6 yarn. But based on the look of this, I think I will go down to a 7 or maybe even a 6.5 depending on how it looks with the 7. I'll keep you up to date on that. There's 100 grams in each ball, which isn't bad, and they're pretty cheap. I don't think I paid too much for this. I'd have to check. I will check for you. Looked it up. It's about $9.10 USD for one of these for 100 grams. I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if that's good. I don't know how much you can make with 100 grams specifically. Not too much traditionally. Usually it is around 100. I believe the Sweet Snuggles Light and the Chanel yarn from the Michaels brand is like 150 grams per ball, which is like pretty close to this. And this is slightly cheaper, so it's like right at the same price point per yarn, I'd say at least. It does feel nice. I will give it that. It does feel nice. It feels like the Sweet Snuggles Light Chanel yarn. So it does have a nice little feeling to it. I do like it. I like the label. I like how simple and minimalistic it is. I do like how they put the color number on here. Although that like made me struggle for a bit because I was like, I can't find the name of the color. It just goes by numbers, not names. I don't know why. Not a me thing. But I'm going to try to take these two oranges and this yellow, and I forgot to buy a red, so I'm going to substitute a red, ignore the red part of this afterwards. It's not the main part anyways, but I'm going to be replicating this in the plush yarn, so I'm excited because this is just a cute little guy. The hat's removable. It's a little Charmander with a little tail. This is the only part that's red that I forgot, so rip. But it's not that much. But I like the little Charmander. I love the little Pikachu hat. This is a free pattern on Ribbler. I will have to find it, and then I'll write in the description who it's by and like what the name is. So if you guys like it, you can do it for yourselves. I love it. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to attempt to make this into this, and when it is done, or if I run into a problem, I'll come back with my feedback. I'm back. It's been about 2 weeks since I started filming this video. Oops. You can tell I'm like slightly dressed up. I'm going out later, so I was like, I'll just get dressed now, look kind of nice. I got this cute little choker on that I bought, this little bracelet I found that I won at a craft show, and then these earrings which I won at a craft show. I'm not sure how I feel about the earrings just because like I'm more of a dangle person, but I feel like you can kind of see them on camera, so I'm like, not the point. Not the point. As you remember, we were here to replicate this cute little Charmander with the big Hobbi plush yarn. And I kept saying Hobby Lobby for some reason. It's just Hobbi. I don't know why I was doing. I was sat there and I was like, the whole first half of this video I've been calling it Hobby Lobby. It's just Hobbi. Just Hobbi. Excuse prior me. But yeah, we were trying to recreate this little guy. So I bought 2 balls of orange and 1 ball of yellow because I wasn't sure how much orange I would need for this. And then I realized I completely forgot the brown and the red parts. So for the brown, I subbed in a Chanel yarn from Premier. And for the red, I just used 2 strands of acrylic. And I was like, it's just going to have to be good enough because I completely forgot that I needed those colors too. But yeah, this is the little guy. And here is the plush version. I think it's still super cute. I kind of did the nose a little differently because I was like, I don't like how the original ones looked like that. I did a cute little pink thing, and then I embroidered the blush this time. Got the stomach, the feet. Here's the little flame. I tried my best with the acrylic. This brown's a little darker than I would have liked, but it's just the brown that I had. And I actually sewed this one's hat on so it can't come off, because I would have no point of selling this without the hat, because like I can't sew the hat without the plushies. So I was like, I'm just gonna stick them together, and then someone's just gonna have to love them as a couple. But yeah, here is the little guy next to the big guy. It's super cute. I like this one more. The colors are a tiny bit more accurate, but that's completely my fault. I wish this was a little bit more color accurate. But this yarn was pretty nice. I'm just gonna slip this over there. The colors are pretty nice. I do like the color. I like the material of them. I didn't have any issues like sewing or crocheting with them really. I did use a 6.5mm, which is I think half a downsize than they recommended. I think they said a 7, so I did 6.5. It works out fine. There was no holes in any of the decreasing. It wasn't really like peeling off like Parfait Chunky does, if you know what I'm talking about, where it does like the, I have a ball of it here, where at the end of it, it'll do like this thing where you can just pull it off and then the little string there shows. I didn't have that issue at all with it in the 3 balls that I used. And it didn't take that much yarn to do this. Obviously, I still had a lot of the yellow left because this was just a tiny amount that I used. But I only used, I think, half of the orange. So I was like, damn, I'm not just gonna like do a review on only half and probably a fifth of the yarn that I used. So I made a lot more. There's a lot next to me right now. There's a lot happening. So after I finished with the orange, I was like, I know something else that I've been wanting to make that I haven't made. I bought a Halloween pack a long time ago, like last year, and I never made any of them. So I finally made one. So this is Sam from Trick or Treat, I believe. And I think they look pretty cute. I used the orange. I just used Parfait Chunky. For the brown, again, the orange worked up perfectly fine. It looks super nice, actually. It works pretty well with this yarn. So if you wanted to like use both, you totally could, because this looks like it's the same brand of yarn. Like, this looks nice. So I was like, all right, we'll make him. And then I still had orange left over. So I was like, damn, I'll make something else. So I went with this little axolotl. This is a Snuggle Buddy pattern. I actually love it. It's like so cute. So I used the orange for the body and then a little bit of yellow. This is not the same yellow. If it looks more yellow, it's not the same yellow. I did this after the fact and I had to get a different yellow to use with it. I like the brighter yellow though. It kind of like matches a little bit more. So this is a little Super Mario themed little guy. I do want to make more of these. This comes in like a set of 6, and I might just do a video one week of just making all of these, all the different species, because I'm like, they're super cute. But I made this. I had a teeny tiny bit of orange left over, so I was like, what else can I do but 'tis the fall season? And I made a little slice of pumpkin pie. And I think this is the cutest little thing. It's just a little slice of pie. Who doesn't just free will at its finest? And with the bit of the yellow that was left over for the Pokemon hat, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little chicks for just market usage. So I was like, this is pretty good. I got 5 of them out of it. Pretty decent ball. So yeah, overall, had a pretty decent little haul. This all was made with, well, not the browns. Ignore the browns. But out of basically 2 balls of orange and 1 ball of yellow, so I'm like, that's a pretty good amount. Let them all fall. They're going everywhere. My little chicks. Yeah, the little guy's cute. I think it comes around probably the same size. I think if you were to do Burnett blanket, it would be slightly bigger, just because I use a bigger hook size for that personally, so it would probably just be like this much bigger, to be honest. So for the price point, getting to make this much out of a yarn that's only like, what was it, like $9 and something cents, pretty good. I did like the yarn. Like the yarn's nice. It didn't have the peeling. It looks pretty nice crocheted. It's pretty good. It's pretty stiff. There's no decreasing holes issues. It was really easy to work with. So I'm like, you know what? I might need more. So it gets a good old thumbs up from me. I don't have any complaints as of now, and I did spend 2 weeks creating all of these things. So I'm like, if I didn't find any issues in 2 weeks, I'm not gonna find any issues. The only downside is when I filmed this video prior and I purchased all of the yarn, it was before the tariff effect went in. Now that the tariff effect is in, it is a little affected. There is a tariff fee now at checkout for Hobbi. I think when I was looking at it, it was like $30 to $40, like additionally on top of whatever yarn you're buying, which like stinks a little bit. If you don't mind that, it's still a good yarn. I'm probably gonna have to take the L a couple times and pay it if you guys want me to continue to test out some of these yarns. I do have a couple pre-purchased already. I think I have like 2 or 3 other ones I think I showed at the beginning of this video. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's just 2. But if you want me to see more in the future, obviously I'll see more in the future. They also like have all these like crafting components, like bag handles, basket bottoms, bag bottoms. So I'm like, I could see myself dwelling into those. It's gonna suck a little bit on the tariff app though. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know? But I have no complaints for this yarn. I actually like the yarn. I like this little haul that I was able to make. I think it looks all pretty nice, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. There's not really any negatives. The only negative thing is now the tariff that you would have to pay and shipping. It's pretty quick. It's just, it takes a little time to get out of custom. Sometimes custom takes like the invoice paper. That's, again, not the end of the world. I don't really care as long as I get it in a timely manner. And I think I did. I think I got like each package within like 2-week span. Customs usually hold it for like a couple days to a week, depending. So it's not a bad thing at all. I'll happily take that. But I will see you guys in the next